Hello and welcome to the film breakdown for Ashton Jeanty. This is the first film breakdown for the 2025 rookie class. I am pumped to be back. This is my favorite part of the draft cycle to show y'all all the film I've been watching and what makes me so excited about some of these players and not so excited about others. So, really pumped for y'all to join and watch this. Definitely go check out my player profiles. I got more than 40 player profiles up at dynastysoldtime.com. Whole lot more going on there. Of course, all of my rankings, bunch of orphans available as well if you're looking for more teams, and all of these film breakdowns coming soon, of course. But without much further ado, let's get into Ashton Jeanty. Really the best player in this class. It is not even close from a fantasy perspective. Some highlights here you can see. This is the player profile that you'd have access to on my website. So just taking a look now, you can see some of the stats that stand out. The 38% missed tackles forced rate, the 4.8 yards after contact per attempt. Those are the elite numbers that show from a data perspective why Jeanty belongs in this top tier. There's only four running backs with a better yards after contact per attempt rate. All of them are pretty irrelevant. Guys like Darwin Thompson. And from a missed tackles force perspective, it's really just Bijan and Javante as far as high level prospects who've been as good as Ashton Jeanty has been. Obviously, this past season was impeccable with almost 3,000 yards in total. His receiving went down. That's probably the one flaw that I might want to bring up. You can see here in the middle, he went down from 48 targets to 33, 3.2 yards per route run to zero point 0.5. It was really just a scheme thing. I'm going to show you in the film breakdown towards the end a lot of his receiving work and why I'm not the least bit surprised. So what we have with Ashton Jeanty is basically a combination of Marshawn Lynch's power and contact balance. We've Kareem Hunt's footwork and versatility. I'm talking rookie year, young Kareem Hunt. And we got Le'Veon Bell's timing, agility, patience, vision. Really, Jeanty can do it all, and I am pumped to show you what he can do. All right, without further ado, let's get into the number one strength of Ashton Jeanty's game with it, which is his strength, his tackle breaking ability, and his contact balance. Impossible to bring down. We're going to watch the play first from this angle, then from the all 22. You can see him carrying 3-4 players in the fight that he has, right? Picking up an extra 5-6 yards here. We'll show it from this angle. Get it a little slower here. All right, so you can see there's really no cutback lane here. You would love there to be, but there's just not enough space, right? He's supposed to hit this hole. We got this lineman missing the block, so there's going to be a ton of pursuit that way. Jeanty does a good job pushing the hole. You see it's about to get filled up. He cuts back, right? Really well done. Good patience there after pushing the hole, finding that cutback lane. Now you see he's got a one-on-one here, wasn't able to build up really any momentum. Tries to throw a stiff arm, really doesn't get much. There are two guys here, have him completely wrapped up, short of the 50-yard line. He should be down at the 48. Look at this. Fighting off one. He is in midair. This foot's off the ground. This foot's off the ground. Doesn't matter. Jeanty is fighting in midair. Keeps pushing. Right foot down. Left foot pushing. And pulls two guys for an extra 7 yards. So again, he had two guys, had him completely wrapped up at the 47-yard line, and he ends up getting to the opposite 47-yard line, an extra 6 yards just from this strength. To get from this position off the ground with 3-4 guys around you to pick up an extra 4 or 5 yards, really elite stuff. All right, let's go to the next play. Here, we saw a lot of this in the Boise State offense. You see you have a few linemen pulling, trying to create space out here. You have this guy floating, trying to get to the next level, and you have a tight end and a lineman both pulling around the side there. I'll let it run first, and we can see what Jeanty makes of this play. You can see early in the play some of the pacing with his footwork, right? So jump cut, jump cut, and now he's in space. And this is where he's not elite, right? He's got this one-on-one here. You would love him to throw a fake one way or the other, put his foot in the ground and burst and try to get by that guy. That's just not Jeanty's game. That's not what he's going to be elite at. Instead, what he's going to be elite at is getting his momentum behind him, running through that second guy, right? And you can see the dead leg actually did do some work, right, on this first guy. Let me slow it down for you for this replay. See right there, the dead leg, 6 whiffs. He's able to absorb the contact with his hip, run over the guy. Now he's not able to maintain his balance there and make a big gain. Don't worry, we see plenty of those later. But it's a good example of just seeing how he's able to combine 2 different moves essentially. We get the dead leg, and then we get the strong hip right there, absorb the contact. All right. Next play here we got again out of the shotgun. He's got to get past 0, this first defender first, get by the edge, who was not held at all by the fake, by the option potential for the defender. Runs by him, breaks the leg tackle, keeps going, just rumbling in the open field. There's honestly not that much to analyze on some of these because it's just him being bigger and stronger than the other team. Right, so the first thing is to beat this edge defender who wasn't held at all by the option guy. What he does really well, and this is one of Jeanty's best traits, is watch him kind of bend his leg a little bit here. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Let's actually go back just a tad. So watch the leg bend to absorb the hit of those. The little jump avoids the best contact on his feet. He's able to break that first tackle, and then he's in the open field. We'll watch that again from the All-22. Right here, hides that leg a little bit. You can see the angle, right? If he was upright like this arm would be able to wrap around his entire knee and probably bring him down. Instead, because of the angle, he's able to get through. Now, instantly, what I love is his ability to have combination moves. Instantly, he's ready for the next guy. You see this next tackler, he's pretty low. I mean, look how low to the ground he is. His knee's almost touching the ground. Jeanty's pretty low as well, and he's ready for it to absorb that contact. Bang. Takes the hit. You see there was a wrap on his ankle too, able to get out of that, and now Jeanty already looking for the next guy. He knows that he can keep going here. Instantly cuts the other way. There's some burst to get away from that guy. Gets chased down behind from a lineman. Even so, able to spin off him, pick up an extra 5 yards. Just incredible tackle breaking there from Jeanty. Next play, you see we're going to send him in motion to the right, then come back to the left. We have this pulling guard, and this time this tight end who's essentially playing fullback, going to create a hole for Jeanty there. At least that's the plan. See, there's not that much space. He's completely bogged up, bogged down. Doesn't matter. Just pushing through, guys. Again, this isn't anything that sexy here, but it's an example of how he can just be this power back, right? Gets outside here. You see he wants to hit this hole, go upfield. It's going to close really quickly. Right? Actually not even able to cut back there. His momentum was already too far outside. There wasn't that much of a hole anyways, to be fair, obviously. This guy was filling it completely. But we see him get stuck. He keeps his feet moving, keeps his center of gravity, breaks that tackle. He's backwards, pushing backwards for an extra 5 yards. It's just great stuff there. All right, let's go back to full speed for the beginning of this. Let's see some big runs. It's just so good. Well done here, by the way, breaking that one at the end. But it's just the contact balance, the ability to take hits, especially around the legs, whether it's an arm tackle hitting him up in the thigh or down here trying to wrap up his foot. It really doesn't matter. Jeanty is going to break the tackle and keep going. You can see on this play, the leg hide again, right? So right here, right, already you can see him starting to slant his body, make this little semicircle with his body, and open up because he knows that there's going to be contact coming from here, and he wants to hide his legs and give the defender the least amount of space to contact him, right? So, oops, yeah. So see right here, he's already leaning completely away from the defender. So that way the defender is only able to really just get his heel, right? There's a lot less area for him to be able to contact. Get into space and then sees that guy, right? So he's going to actually tilt his, I might even want to go a little slower on this one. He's able to tilt both ways essentially, right? And now he's tilting the other way to break that tackle and he's off into space. And then finally at the end, he can break one more. Just great balance. Finally, we get some of the Boise blue. It's been a lot of road games so far. Let's take a look. Again, shotgun, two pullers. This is where he's really comfortable running behind these pulling linemen. It gives him a good idea because we get like a seal here. Let me undo that. So we get a really good seal here is the point of this, to develop that. And then we have these two linemen, one coming in here to seal that off, the other one falling behind, should be able to get through this hole and ideally hit this backer. Or even better, if we can get this lineman to seal him, we can even see this guy push up more. But we'll let this play develop at full speed and then play it back. The footwork early in the down is just so good. It was actually a pretty good job by the defense here. You see, this end got off really quickly and was able to get into the backfield before we have this first puller being able to set the edge out there. So what that does is Jeanty immediately has to reposition his feet. Oh, it's just so good. He immediately hides his leg. Let's see, we'll see it better from the other angle. Right here, right? Quick jump cut, that footwork. Immediately sees that defender coming on. Quick jump cut, get around him, breaks the arm tackle. Now he's in that next level, hiding the feet from this guy, able to get by that arm tackle, and he's back on the right leg, getting by these two guys. He's just slaloming. It's just so nice. It's so good. That ability to slalom, to combine those moves, and to have the fluidity of his footwork, right? He's able to go here, that way around this guy, this way around this guy, oh, this way around this guy, and then up through here. Up through that hole. Sorry, my pen's having a little difficulty breaking arm tackles all the time. All right, next play. Let's run this at full speed. Start this one again. Again, you'll see backfield pressure pretty much immediately here. This guard or center, it looks like, is losing interior pressure right out the gate. But we see the footwork to cut back, and again the slalom. So to go to the right of that defender, the left of this guy, break the leg tackle, take that hit. Oh, and you thought he was done. He's not done. Good long speed, by the way, to break the angle. We got to watch this from here, from the all-22. All right, so once again, you see the early penetration here. So Jeanty knows that while he wanted to go this way and hit this gap, 50 did a good job. So instead, what he has to do is he's got to go from here, here, back, oh, here, then back here around that guy. Same slalom, right? That cut. Look at how balanced he is. What I love is when he makes this little jump cut, look how close his feet are to the ground. That gives him the ability to, if I move this forward, to immediately put his feet back down and make that next move. And again, his feet are close to the ground, so when he lands, he's balanced, right? He's getting contacted, but when 52 hits this leg, his left leg is down, it's on balance, he's got his arm out to balance himself, and his center of gravity is really upright here. So it makes it super easy to absorb these little leg hits, these glancing blows, keep going forward and give him two-way flexibility, right? So when we keep going, right? Now he's bracing for this hit. He knows it's coming. He's got his feet under him, his balance under him. And now it's just power and fight. Two more. I mean, it's bad tackling, but it's really good running backing. Yes, that's a word. All right. Here we got the fake end around. Jeanty going to be coming off the left side here. Oh, it's just such good footwork and vision in the backfield. He has no right to score on this play. How do you possibly score from here, right? There's absolutely no room. He's going to use his vision and his ability to get skinny. Immediately sees, listen, there's nothing here. That might be a hold, but even if he gets outside, it's right here. So he's got to come back, go back across the leverage of his offensive line, and get back in this direction to the right side. But rather than push back too far, it's just a little footwork, the little hesitation there. See it better from this angle. Right, he's got his feet under him, super balanced, able to make this cutback. Makes zero miss, but he's ready for 15 here. He's low, he takes the hit. It's a full-legged, two-armed wrap around the hips and upper thigh. Runs right through it, not a chance. Immediately braces himself for impact for the next guy. No chance, spin off it. Now here's the next guy. He's a bowling ball. This is the Marshawn Lynch bowling ball type stuff. Another pretty strong hit on him, but what I love is that right after the spin, he already was ready with this stiff arm. Right? If we go back half a second, we can see this combo move. It's the cutback here. Breaks through that tackle, spin off that one, the stiff arm immediately. And now let's just drag two tacklers, lunge forward for a touchdown. No one scores a touchdown on that play. That is what Jeanty is going to give you at this next level. Next play here, let's go to full speed. Oops. Skip forward a little bit. Let's go back. Meets a guy right at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't matter. Bounces right off him. If you don't have perfect tackling for him, like this guy Zero clearly doesn't, right? He's going to meet a guy in the hole. No hope, right? He's just physically more gifted. And then a good stiff arm outside. Stiff arm with the leg hide. Defender's got no chance. All right, next one here. It's just so powerful, right? I feel like defenders, especially when there's more than one of them there, they think they're going to be able to wrap him, right? I mean, it's a good job early on, again, reading his offensive lineman who got beat super early in the play, being able to redirect and stay on balance. You can see the angle of his leg here. That's what we want to see, right? So he was able to if we go back, his leg was like this, and now it's like this, right? He's able to go and adjust the angling, the flow of his run to make the defender miss there. Let's go back just a tiny bit. So his leg's here, right? Once he cuts around him, he knows he's got to go back center, and now it's just bouncing off guys. Low center of gravity, powerful legs, and just pretty natural balance there. I think we got a few more of these plays. There were quite a few to pick from. I love this one because you get the early burst outside, right? We see some of that ability. We can see if we go at a little bit slower pace here right at the beginning. You would have loved to hit this hole up the middle. That's the design of the play, right? You got this puller, you got 63 setting that, you got a good clean hole here, but what Jeanty already sees is this linebacker flowing to the middle, overcommitting, hard jump cut. Look at where when the linebacker is like, oh, I'm in the hole, I see you now. He's already gone and out the other side. Then once he's out the other side, it's just that stiff arm again. He's really good at getting around the edge by throwing that stiff arm at that angle. Don't love that he kind of saunters out of bounds here, but I'll give him a break. He breaks enough tackles. Again, in the backfield, you just can't get him at that angle. And then he breaks like 3 tacklers at once. It's almost worse when more than one tackler gets him at the same time because I think they think that the other guy's going to wrap him up and he just ends up bouncing off of him. But you can see again, this guard is getting beat all the time. Again, this guard losing that leverage. Jeanty with the leg hide, able to break that tackle with the stiff arm as well. And you see him turning upfield. Really easy flow, right? A lot of running backs, after they break that tackle, it might be difficult for them to shift their balance and get upfield. Not an issue for a guy like Jeanty at all. And now let's get low, absorb that contact. I mean, it's terrible tackling. But this is Oregon. This isn't even one of the bad teams he was playing, right? This is one of the best teams in the country. And that's light work for Jeanty. So we have already seen a little bit what Jeanty has to offer in terms of his footwork and elusiveness, being able to adapt to the leverage and angle of blockers, as well as the tacklers in order to make people miss. Here are some plays that in particular will highlight just how good his footwork is, especially for someone with the rest of his skill set. All right, back to the Boise Blue. Let's go on full speed for now. Oh, it's just so good. The double jump cut there to set up the defender. That's just right. He's going outside here. We see he always wants to hit back here. He knows he's not going to be able to get outside here. This defender has leverage. But what he needs to do is he needs to set up by pushing as far this way on the lineman as possible before staying on balance and getting up into the hole. Right? Able to do that, pushes up here. What that does is it forces this defender to get on the outside of his man, try to reach in for this tackle. No chance with that footwork. Easily hiding it. I call this almost like a, what's that thing? Grapevine, right? When you're doing that with your footwork going behind the legs. He does this a lot. Right here, both legs together, clips together, on balance. We'll see it again from this angle. You can see right here as he shifts back to his left, his right foot is actually behind his left, right? That's this grapevine action that we see. But then instantly, he's square again. So fast, he's able to move from one to the other. Left this guy absolutely in his dust, able to square up one-on-one. This is the angle that we want. Jeanty is not actually that good. We'll get to later. I mentioned his open field elusiveness is just okay. He's not that good at a 45-degree angle. This 1v1 angle, he is great at getting by the guy. Little dead leg, and again, you saw the same 1 foot behind the other move I was just showing you. Right, 1 foot behind the other, and then he does it again. 1 foot behind the other. This defender's just got no chance, whiffing at absolute air there. And now he's back on balance immediately, which lets him absorb that contact, lowers his head for number 1, Drags number 44. Another great play. All right, let's go to full speed to start here. Again, it's just a little quick shift early in the run. That's awesome. We got to slow it down for this. All right, he's coming off this right side, but he knows that he's going to end up coming back this way here and hitting that hole. It's that little quick shift. Again, it's the foot behind, and he's able to burst through the hole, and then it's just the athleticism at the end with the hurdle. Clears him by about 4 feet on that hurdle. You can see there's a lot of shotgun here. Like most college running backs, most of Jeanty's experience is from shotgun. Don't have the numbers offhand. I believe it's something like 90 plus percent, especially not including goal line plays, but that's okay. Not worried at all about his vision. All right, big hole's going to open up here. Just great footwork again to work behind the back of 67. A lot of running backs, once they pick up steam like this, would run into the back of their lineman, right? You can see here, Jeanty wants to hit this hole. He's also got this hole, right? But this defensive player has clear leverage on the outside here. You see this defender is coming on this side too, so he's able to put his foot in the ground, get upfield, but now he's still going this way. He's got to get back to that side. Look at that little juke. Just so unbalanced, able to withstand that hit there, fall forward. Doesn't look like much, but that's another 5 yards he gets just from falling forward at the end, just from the ability to make that little jump cut and keep his balance. Let's go back to it. Right, it's the ability here, right here, to change directions, do it again, that jump cut, and now he's already on balance. Really never loses it. All right, here's from the pistol. I guess you can kind of call that under center. We'll give it to him. Ooh, and there's that spin move. He sets him up so well. And he gets to the second level and just makes another guy miss. He moves faster sideways than most running backs, and certainly most defenders move front and back. All right, so simple stretch play going off the outside. Huge hole, obviously, which is great. Cuts upfield. Now he knows that he has this defender pursuing from this way, and this guy, and there's also a defender up here. So there's no way to split them. He's not going to be able to get out this way because he's got this angle solidly set. He's pursuing this way. So instead, he's going to use the movement of the defender against him, of this linebacker against him, cut back across, and the spin move. And look again how fast he's on balance again, ready to make a combo move. Second level, hard juke again. You saw the same leg height action actually, where he puts one foot behind the other, as I was showing before. So the spin move right there, one foot behind the other. And look, he's moving sideways, keeps changing directions, breaks another tackle with that contact balance that we were talking about earlier. And it's another touchdown that only Ashton Jeanty would score. And more footwork in the backfield. Not too much to analyze here. Oh my God. It's just this jump cut in the backfield. He's so good at dealing with this interior pressure. Gets by the guy, and then it's the combo move. One more. Breaking tackles. They got no chance on him down low. Doesn't even need to use his arm. Just so powerful. It's the ability to combine the footwork and immediately transition to power that just other running backs just simply do not have. Oh, and there's the spin move again. I wish he broke this tackle. Would have been a hell of a play. But still, as it is, can't be too mad about this spin move. Right, as I said, when he's one-on-one with the guy in the hole, he's really good at making him miss. No chance. And just unable. He almost did, but just unable to break that second tackle. Next play we got here. Oh, that little hip fake. Almost a shoulder fake, really was so good. Just makes defenders whiff, right? You see here, all right, clearly he's going to be coming up here into that hole. All right, this is where it happens. So this defender is completely losing this block. He's honestly at risk of being called for a holding down there. What we need to do, though, is Jeanty needs to completely suck the defender in here, make him think that he's going to try to split this gap, and then he's just going to burst outside. And in the open field, not too bad. Let me rewind there a second. All right. Oh, the shoulder dip happened even before. That's why I missed it. Yeah. All right, got to show you the shoulder dip because that's what gets 32 to commit. Let's watch 32 from the beginning of this play right here. So he's coming in. All right, here. Now, 32 is going to try to fill this hole. It's right there. That's the shoulder dip. It's a whiff. It's a complete whiff. Doesn't even get credit for a broken tackle there because the guy didn't even get close. Just more smooth running. Nothing complicated here. Hole's getting filled, right? Doesn't want to, he's going to push the hole a little bit just so 95 doesn't know and try to get off that block. Quick footwork outside. Picks up 8 yards. Simple as that. All right. Now this next section is going to be a strength that I don't think many people recognize as a strength, and certainly isn't the best part of his game. Long speed isn't the number one thing that Jeanty is good at, but what he is good at is knowing when to hit the accelerators, hitting angles properly, and because he is so balanced and so strong in the open field, he's able to crack off some huge runs. Right? Makes one guy miss, and then look at him burn that angle and make a guy miss, right? Break a tackle. He just needs a good enough angle to get a guy on his back hip, and then no one's going to bring him down, right? So it's the footwork to get outside, breaks 2 arm tackles, and then the ability to beat the guy on this angle. He's got a huge lead here. There's no reason that Jeanty should be able to beat him to the corner, right? But he's able to do it well enough that you see the contact point. This defender is really only touching him at his arm, right? He has no path to get to either his hips or his feet, which are the way to bring Jeanty down here. And the really well-timed stiff arm here, look at this wingspan, right? Fully extended, right in the face mask. There's no way for him to be able to, like if you look at the distance, assuming they have about the same wingspan, the distance between Jeanty's shoulder and the defender's helmet, that means with this guy's left hand, he can only go basically that same distance, which you can see is not going to be able to get Jeanty, and that's why he's able to just run away. You're going to see some fun big plays coming up here, I can tell you that. One guy in the hole makes him miss with pure power, and again, it's speed. Beating the angle. Now, this is the time where players look faster when there's slower players on the field. And obviously he's playing against, this looks like, I don't know, New Mexico or something here. Not a great team, but it's still a lot more speed than you'd expect. I gotta say, the footwork here is pretty damn good as well. Let's go back a little bit. Tiny bit more. The footwork early in the down, it's better than I thought actually when you see it from this angle. All right, coming off this gap, again, he's going to go with the flow of the lineman here. You can see there's this clear space to cut back against the body there. So he's going to make that move. He's so unbalanced, right? Look at his feet, ready to go. Explosiveness to be able to push off that right foot, right? Yeah, I even forgot. I thought he was going to go that way. Instead, he's just so unbalanced. He's able to make him stop, right? Plant his feet this way to not let him get outside. Then he puts his left foot in the ground, gets upfield, and now this is just the contact balance to push through. Defender's got no chance. Sorry, I cut off the end of some of these. I think we get the point there on those touchdowns. All right, now from under center, hand off to the right side. Works back against the flow of the lineman again. There's a huge hole here. Now let's see how he does one-on-one. This is an interesting one because there was a lot more space this way, right? But you see this defender was coming down from here. Jeanty loves operating against the flow of defenders because then all this defender can do is stop, try to readjust, and ultimately throw out a flailing arm where they meet right here. And Jeanty knows he's going to be able to get by all of those flailing arms. All right, there we go. Quick redirect, that footwork, the leg hide, and then he's able to go from this way around and get upfield fast, right? He's not going to let this run carry him too far out here and let this defender come get him. It's an immediate redirect upfield, which lets him break off a huge gain. Yep, and now running away from this guy, angling from 21, angling the run that way. Once again, the stiff arm in the open field keeps the defender away from his legs, almost boosts him forward, which is pretty nice as well. Right, it's right here that a lot of running backs would simply go straight this way. Jeanty's like, nope, I see him coming from here. I'm going to redirect this way. That little hesitation. Let's go back. I'll let this thing run just so we can see it a little better. Played at half speed. This hesitation you'll see right here. Boop, got him. Little hip hide. And now he sees him immediately. I'm going to run away from him. Now look at the vision. He knows he's this way. Looks up. All right, this is now the guy who's most likely to catch me. So I'm going to, instead of going straight, I'm going to angle this way ever so slightly. There you go. Angle that way. All right. Now this guy's the most likely guy to catch me. Let's throw that stiff arm and spring me forward. Just unable to score. Almost fumbles at the end, but at least he held on to it there. Good footwork again early in the play. And now let's just watch the speed. Beats the angle of two guys. Good footwork. Zero's got no chance realistically. That's a backer. But number 5 on this far side, you think would have had a chance to get him. Unable to. All right, next play. Handoff again. You saw this pulling action that he was really good at running behind. Speed that up a little bit. All right, you see this pulling action. You got one puller, two pullers coming around here. Hopefully throw that block, set the edge. He whiffs a little bit, but you saw 32. This is the same guy as before. Able to come down and get in this good position. There isn't really a good position. Just able to hide the hips, break the tackle, and now he's outside. Once again, really good vision in the open field. Immediately looking here. Sees this defender pursuing outside, so rather than trying to beat him out here, he's going to cut up. Cut up field, right between them. Breaks another tackle. Juke move in the open field. He's unreal. Oh yeah, and let's drag two guys to finish it. This is just unbelievable, right? So once again, you see 32 breaking down, thinking that he's got the edge totally covered, but he's off balance. Jeanty always on balance, breaks that arm tackle with a good stiff arm, gets outside. Once again, we see 24 breaking outside here. Jeanty right up through the middle. Another stiff arm. No one's getting him from the hips from behind. Oh, and another juke move. It's the combo moves that get me, man. He's just so good at going from one to the other. And yeah, let's just carry two guys to the end zone. Like let's not underrate how good of a job this was I mean, this is fun. I want to watch his juke on slow-mo. Oh no, that was before. Okay. He's getting contacted here. He's basically fully wrapped up at this 14-yard line, right? Fully wrapped up being spun. Now a second guy come and gets in at the 7-yard line. And look at this balance to get one more foot down, a hand down, and extend for a huge touchdown. All right, next play here. Let's go full speed. Big hole. Good footwork to get through it. And he's gone. Easy work here. Right, huge hole. But again, it's just really efficient. It's just efficiency on the footwork. It's that same type of movement. We see his left foot really plants into the ground. Right, his right foot really plants into the ground. He's able to get his left foot down at this angle. Let's watch this a tiny bit slower back here. Right, let's really break down his footwork. Right, this hard dead leg. Look at that angle there, and then this next step. He's all the way here. Right, it's so efficient. It's just 1, 2, and he's totally redirected on balance, straight up and down, ready to hit the hole, not losing any speed. Enables him to get away from 9 who was covering, from 9 who was coming in from the backside, and from 2 who was coming in from the front side. Hit the hole. Now, a huge part of Jeanty's game, as I mentioned off the top, is his receiving ability. It's what really separates him in this class from a guy like Amarian Hampton, who isn't my RB2, but is for many people, and in general from a profile of a guy like even like Jonathan Taylor, who obviously had some really good yards per route run metrics, didn't have the pure efficiency of a guy like Jeanty and the volume of a guy like Jeanty, especially his sophomore year. A lot of these clips are from his sophomore year when he had those 50 or so targets, I believe. So we'll get to see some of his really good receiving production here. Lined up in the backfield, simple swing pass. What I really like here is just the transition from catch to run. Similar to how I was saying he's really good at putting combo moves together when he's rushing the ball. He's so comfortable with these receptions, being able to catch the ball and easily transition to the run and put together a combo move to make that first guy miss. And that's often the most difficult thing, right? It's being able to make that first player miss after you catch the ball, especially on these swing moves out wide. Swing passes out wide, rather. This footwork here, right? He catches the ball, extended out. Not even the cleanest catch, I gotta say. I didn't notice this on a previous watch, but that's not the cleanest catch, but that's okay. You see the defender coming in from down here. Jeanty's eyes are facing, back this way, back towards where the ball is coming from. His feet are a little bit off balance right now. Look how quickly he's able to catch this ball, turn, get his feet under center, look at the defender, get his feet under him, and then the quick juke move, leg hide. I mean, I love this leg hide. It's just so fun. He basically covers like 2 yards moving sideways, you'll see here. Right, you'll see right here after he catches this. Look at his body shape when he makes his juke. He is fully sideways, basically almost doing how you would like jump and fall into the end zone. He's fully sideways to avoid this player and then turns upfield. It's a great play. Simple catch, obviously, but still. All right, now we'll see we'll see a screen here. Again, it's a pretty good catch. The ball's over his head, makes a clean hands grab, transitions to run, and then this is the open field, right? Just hard to tackle. But the key here is this slightly difficult hands catch. Let the motion go. Slow it down here just so you can see the catch. Right? That's not an easy grab at all. That shows you have a confident running back. Immediately turns, gets up the field, and we know he is an absolute terror in the open field. Good vision, makes a guy miss, hurdles, picks up extra yards. Again in a shotgun here. Simple flat route, but it's just good, clean hands. And this is a lot of what you want to see from a running back, right? It's just the ability to make the clean catches away from his body, not worry about any bobbles. This is not a really good throw, right? You can see, let me slow this down. It's a little bit behind him. I mean, it's a pretty easy catch, actually. I'll take that back. That's not that impressive. Let's go to the next one. Another swing. A little bit harder, gets on and fast, but again, it's just a quick transition from catch to run, right? Make the catch and instantly get to this position where he's squared up one-on-one, and then you can see the agility to get around a guy. This combination of footwork, balance, and yards after contact ability just make him such a threat on these swing passes because he's able to really make guys miss or run over them, especially once you're talking perimeter players, perimeter defensive backs here. All right, easy catch here, and the hurdle. Nothing too impressive receiving wise here, but always nice to watch a good hurdle. All right, this is probably his best receiving play. You see he's lined up, out wide here, off to the right. There was a offsides here, which is why this ball is thrown. But look at this catch. He is literally stacking the defender like he's a receiver here. Right? You'll see run straight, goes a little wide, that's what you want. Ball's in the air. He cuts in just a little bit, right? So the path of this go route was a little bit down here, and then once he gets past the defender, he cuts in a little bit. That's what you want, right? That's how you stack the defender. And now that he's stacked, gets his arm out, creates a little bit of separation, and look at him keeping the balance while he's backpedaling here, tracking the ball, and look at that high point. Gets his foot down and holds onto it. That's a play a lot of receivers don't make. I mean, most receivers don't make that often, if I'm being honest. Look at this high point. Contested grab with a guy in his face. He's 2 feet off the ground. Contested grab. That is unbelievable stuff from a running back. Another pretty simple swing pass here, but I love the hands on this play and then the really quick move again. But it's the hands on this one that's the most important. You'll see on this replay. It's not a good throw. The ball's out in front of him. He's able to make this extended grab and stay in rhythm to make a guy miss, right? Ball's out in front of him. You can't really see it that well from that angle, but that's not an easy catch. Then immediately jukes to get off the linebacker going against the flow. All right, same game here. This Colorado State. Going to be another swing pass. Another not really good throw here. It's not that difficult, but you see a lot of running backs either bobble or drop this throw. Right? That's out in front. He's got to jump to be able to make it, and it's really clean. Gives him the chance to instantly look up, get his foot in the ground, and push upfield. And we know what he can do with the ball in his hands. So you see it's mostly swing passes, screen passes here. We had that one downfield throw. There were a few Texas routes we saw, but it really is mostly simple stuff. That's just what Boise State ran. But given his footwork, his power, his agility in his hands, which is what we're seeing here, I am not in the least bit worried about his ability to adapt to more complex routes. Not that that's a huge part of most running backs' game anyways. Easy swing. and the power. Bang. All right, here's another one. This was a drop off the middle. What I really like about this play is, again, just the ability to make the slight adjustment on the catch. We'll slow it down a little bit as we go. It's like kind of a little option. A little bit of a curl outside the backfield. He probably has the option to go outside, but shows himself to the quarterback. That is not a good throw at all, right? Jeanty has fully stopped his momentum. You can actually see it full speed. He's fully stopping his momentum as he turns around for this ball, and it's off target, and he's able to make that adjustment. It's something I'd expect a lot of running backs to make, but a lot of them just wouldn't. So it's still a huge positive either way. Now, you've seen from a lot of the other plays how good his vision and patience and timing is, but I just wanted to show a few plays to highlight it. He's elite in this regard. There's really no way around it. Just one of the best in the class. I mean, probably the best in the class. One of the best I've seen. Now this play looks pretty simple, right? Not a whole lot going on here, but what he does that's awesome, right? It looks like you're flowing this way, but we see 77 occupy this defender, 52 with a really good job setting his feet. We got 16 Taylor motioning over here. So he pushes the lineman really well, enough to get Taylor to bite in here enough that he can then go outside, but nope, he's just setting up this block here. Hugs right up on the back of his offensive lineman. You can even see him putting his hand on the back of his offensive lineman and create space out of basically nothing, right? I don't think his lineman had any idea he was going to do this, right? Because you got this double team here, double team on 77. Then you need to give this lineman time to get up to Taylor. The only way to do that is to push this way, then push back this way, but stay horizontal, right? Give yourself the two-way out and create enough time to allow your lineman to get onto 16. He does that, right? Rather than sprinting through here, or cutting back and sprinting through here, in which case Taylor's going to beat this offensive lineman here. Instead, he just takes one little step there, squares back up. You can't really see, but he squared up behind him. And now Taylor's like, oh shit, he's going back the other way. And now his lineman has leverage. Just perfect job reading the leverage of the linemen and the linebackers to get a 7-yard gain out of nothing. Similar thing here, where it's just a timing issue. Not an issue, rather. Timing boost. Gets the ball here. You can see, looks like there's going to be a hole opening up, right? Great block here. Pretty good one here. And you got your tight end coming in through here. You just got to slow play this a little bit to let 85 make this block. And it's just that little head fake, that little stutter step that allows him to solidify that block and now puts his head down and gets through the hole. Let's see that stutter step again at full speed. This little stutter that's going to be right here. Lets that block get set. That's the pacing of the run that I really like. Next one here. Oh, the path readjustments here are excellent. Pretty subtle again, but just really good to see. You can see the design of this run really has two options. I mean, it's designed to hit here. Oops. It's designed to hit here with the option to come back here depending where the flow of this backer is, right in through that A gap, right? Instead, things open up, right? You get this push that way. So now there's the opportunity. Jeanty has really all the opportunity here. He can go here, he can go here, or he can go here. But by slow playing it, he leaves those options available until basically making these defenders declare themselves. So you see, as he goes this way, he makes this defender declare himself as having this outside leverage, right? If you go back just a second, right, it looks like this defender's trying to get through this way, but now when Jeanty goes this way, it's like, oh, okay, now I'm on outside leverage. He lets his lineman get squared up here. Now he's like, all right, I'm good. I should be going through here, right? Lane adjustment, right? He's going right up through the middle. Look at him again, touching the back of his lineman. He loves doing that. Really good job. Keeps himself on balance, keeps himself separated, but he's running as close to his lineman as possible. Now he's like, all right, I'm going to threaten this hole. This defender, who 2 seconds ago, let's show you, 2 seconds ago, that defender is on the other side of his guy, right? So that's number 9 up here, right? So 9's up here, right? I'm not letting you go this way. This is all blocked off. But once Jeanty goes this way, he's like, oh shit, I got to work back across this side because this is wide open. As soon as he does that, works back across this side, look at Jeanty's eyes. Vision right here. He sees him working back across that side. He says, nope, I'm going to push this way, and look how smooth he gets across that way. Just easily cuts and hits that over pursue. It's just so hard to pursue Jeanty because you have to be so under controlled as a defender to actually make the tackle even if you do get there. But he's so fast and he's such good footwork that he's going to beat you to the hole, and then he's going to be incredibly efficient in terms of pushing back against that pursuit. Let's go full speed. Just more good timing here. I mean, good long speed to score, of course, but more good timing and footwork. You see coming in here, he's got to, at the right time, push up here enough, make the jump cut out here, let the puller set the block here, and then push up. Right, enough of a jump cut. Oh, my bad, he actually went outside again. It's just the pacing of the run. The timing is so good. And of course, the long speed and the stiff arm too. Such good flow. We can see the vision again here, right? Is this a design? I don't think this is a design counter, but it might be. There's certainly the option here. But what he's really doing is just working against the flow of his line, which is what he loves to do. This is probably meant to, yeah, based on how these guys are blocking, this play is meant to go here. But there's obviously the option of the flow back across the line. And he sees that instantly, right? You see the defensive, I mean, if we go back half a second, you can see the whole defensive line is moving to the right far too aggressively and giving up their leverage, right? You see 4, 56, 52, 2, all shifting that way. Makes it really easy for Jeanty to get the ball. This might be designed, actually, but either way, it's well done. Shift back across the line, and he's just so fluid with the footwork all the way across. And then let's get downfield fast, pick up 10 yards, and of course, carry people for 4 yards at the end. This is another pretty simple one. I remember this play. He's just going to come out and bounce it offside. It's just a good job pushing the line of scrimmage enough, right? What you're doing here, you got a hat on a hat, you got a hat on a hat. What you need to do is you need to entice this linebacker, into this hole enough that then you can burst outside. And he does that, right? He goes hard, settles down, and now he's obviously going to beat any linebacker outside. He totally tricks this backer. You can see him here, right? That backer has outside leverage right now. He's like, all right, I'm fine. I'm going to force him inside. Right? But look how hard he breaks down and the power to get outside and just destroy. Like, I mean, number 2 had absolutely no chance there. All right, now let's get to some pass blocking. Overall, his pass blocking is okay. It's not great, but that's as much effort and coaching as it is anything else. Not something I'm really worried about here. I'll show you some positives for now. There are some bad pass blocking plays that I'll show you afterwards as well. Let's watch this full speed. Yeah, I really like this one. This one's a really good play because he's on this left side, right? His eyes start here, but he knows that he has his lineman in front of him shifting left, right? It's their job to cover 1, 2, 3, and shift left, which means it's one-on-one with the end in his right tackle, and it's Jeanty's job to either pick up this blitzer or this blitzer. And because it's a 4-on-3 here, his real priority is to pick up this blitzer coming off of the offense's right side, right? So he sets up, right? He sees that 11 is covered. He sees that 16, I think, is coming in. And look at his ability to shift his feet, right? Side to side, and then square up, right? He hits him square. Not shoulder, didn't duck his shoulder to go into him. Led with his chest, with a solid base, and just hits him. And that's all you got to do. That's enough to really prevent the blitz from working at all. Here's another one. You see blitz coming in. 65, his right guard, or actually that's his right tackle, is going in to help out on the outside here. So Jeanty, after the chip from the tight end. So Jeanty is one-on-one with this linebacker coming in the hole, and he's coming fast. Look how Jeanty deals with this. Bang! Stands him up. Watch at full speed. It's a great pass block, right? Full speed, bang. And he sets his feet, hips and shoulders, square to the line, right? I mean, if you look at the footwork here, you can also see how quick his feet are and how strong he is. He's shifting outside first, right? That's quick step outside because he's worried about that outside rush. Sees that the tackle has it. He says, all right, my job's inside now. And square. Look at that. Look at that power that he's using off his left foot to stop this defender right in his tracks. Shoulder pad, shoulder blade, helmet, chest. It's a perfect block. Now, pass blocking is not that fun, so I'm going to move on from that. Talk about some of Jeanty's weaknesses. There weren't that many. There honestly weren't enough to make a separate category for each one. So these are going to be kind of a potpourri of some various slightly negative plays from Jeanty that he can work on to improve. So I'll watch these through first, just to remind myself which is which. Yeah, so this is going to be his elusiveness just not being great. So in space, he's really good when he can be a flowing runner, as we've seen. When he can run this way, see a defender coming here, make the dead leg and kind of flow, right? Flow in and out of things. When he has a long runway to actually approach a guy one-on-one, he doesn't really excel at it. So that's here, obviously. It's a giant hole. He's coming outside. There's no concern here. All right, he's already by that guy. So he's, 10, 15 yards away from this guy. He should really have a plan here. And that plan, in my mind, should be fake out here, dead leg, and then throw up here. You can also push up here, as he often does, and spin out or juke out and get out there, right? There's two different ways you can approach it. He kind of does neither, right? He just runs right into him. Looks like he's slowing down and trying to create a dead leg, but he was running too fast to get away from this guy. Not really able to generate a lot of power. Changes his mind. Doesn't use a stiff arm that effectively. Doesn't hide his legs. You can see in previous times I've shown you how good the angle was of his leg, where he had that really diagonal angle. But because it looks like he's going up this way, now he's going out that way. He's not hiding his hips at all, right? His hips are actually closer to the defender here than you would want them to be, right? His leg is kind of flailing out to the right, which makes it easy to get, and he gets tackled. Next play here. Let's go full speed. What do I not like about this? So let's see. And we'll skip this one.
There was an opportunity to hit the other hole. That's not that bad of a play. Let's skip it. All right, next play. Again, this is the one-on-one in the hole where he just has so much time. You'd expect him to have a better plan, right? From right now, he sees hat on a hat. All of this is just completely covered. That's a really good pocket here. This is obviously a really good edge set here. It's going to be a one-on-one with number 9, and he just comes at him without really a plan, right? It's just the leg hide. He throws in the spin every now and then, but it's really just trying to hide his hips, and you need to throw more of a fake out here if you're going to try to get skinny through this hole. Instead, he kind of just lets the defender take him down. He was running a little high there too, which isn't ideal. All right, next play. And this is some of the time where Jeanty is less good at pass blocking. He did have a habit. He was good enough at, he had enough good blocks on tape that I didn't put it as a real weakness of his. But look at him approach this blitzer just with his shoulder, right? That's not what you want to do. That's not how you pass block. The previous one where his left leg was behind him, he was really setting up to take the hit and was square. This time, look at what's making contact. It's his shoulder. It's his shoulder making contact. His legs are completely under him. He didn't have any strong base going to the back, and it results in him just getting wrecked. Happens, but area for improvement there. Next play. So I mentioned earlier, obviously, Jeanty's contact balance and tackle breaking is unbelievable. He did have a weird habit occasionally, especially near the goal line, but it happened other places too, of just being a little bit too high, where I don't know if he thinks he's going to just run through a guy too easily, but if you get lower here and really use his strong legs, he could score a touchdown here. It's a kind of weird route that he's taking, right? He needs to get outside. Really what you have here is you have a 2-on-1, right? You got 1-1 and you against number 1 here. So when you're getting wide, I understand he's trying to take a little bit of a wider path rather than just go straight at him. Take a wider path so 65 can set up his block. There's nothing wrong with that. But once he does, right here, once 5 commits to flowing out here, you need to put your right foot in the ground and drive at number 1, right? So you make contact with number 1 around the 3-4 yard line, and then you can drive. He keeps floating a little bit too wide, and then when number 1 gets to him, he really isn't anticipating him at all. There's no stiff arm. The angle that they're going at actually makes it really easy to make a tackle unless you have the stiff arm, where you're making contact with the side of his leg. It makes it an easy tackle rather than if, 2 or so seconds before, right here, right? Instead of cutting out there, here, if he puts his right foot in the ground and goes this way, then he can kind of hit him head on a little bit more and try to get some power. Instead, he just gets taken out. It's not an awful play, but I'd like to see Jeanty score a touchdown there. He only scored 29 touchdowns last season. You got to improve on those. This was, I think, the very next play where he gets stuffed again. Maybe that's why this made such an impact in my mind, just because it happened twice in a row. No excuse not to score a touchdown here. I mean, look at this, right? Ashton Jeanty, the other angle will show you, it's a one-on-one, but you either got to run straight and run over a guy, cut out this way, you got enough burst, you got a stiff arm, you got a hip hide, you got to be scoring on this play. Instead, he's high, lets the defender take him right in the chest. I honestly think he just didn't really see him coming or something. This is out of character for Jeanty to not score on a play this open. There was also, to note, there was no pushing of the line up here. He could have tried to make this defender stay inside a little bit more. But as we saw in the reverse angle, there's so much space out here. I don't blame him. You just got to get lower, right? He's a little high here. All you got to do is make that a bit of a glancing blow, and you fall forward and score. All right, next play here. Just poor balance. We saw enough of him making this first guy miss that it's not a concern, but he's not the most elusive player in the world. All right, that is my Ashton Jeanty film preview. Thank you, film breakdown rather. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we will be back next time for another film breakdown.